Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Marvel Legends Iron Man, which I believe the one with the cannon is Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I could be wrong about that, I don't know, I'll check. But this is the MvC / animated series Iron Man. Many people very excited about this. Is it actually any good? Well, it is. It's good. It's good. There are problems, though. There are some serious problems and some definite room for improvement, such that I'm starting to think they're doing it on purpose. But I don't know. Anyway, there's some good stuff to talk about here, so let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we get into the figure, I just want to show you guys the packaging. Obviously, this is the blister that Iron Man comes in some of his blast effects. Inside the overall packaging, you get this box, which has the Proton Cannon. I'm sorry, Plasma Cannon. It says Plasma Cannon, not Proton Cannon, because it's not the MvC version officially, even though it definitely is. And then this is the box that everything comes in overall. It is not like this. That's just for the artwork on the box. This just sits like this inside the box. Okay, just so you guys have that covered. For those of you who keep things in the box, it might matter. Alright, so let's do a height measurement, even though we've seen this figure before almost entirely. In fact, what you're looking at right now is strictly a repaint other than the chest, but let's do it anyway. It's just about 6 5/8 inches tall, and that's going to make it roughly, we'll just call it just shy of 17 centimeters. Here he is up against everyone's favorite creepy pervert Darwin. And he's just a little bit taller than Darwin. So size-wise, it's fair enough for Iron Man. We liked this base body before. It was a good release. Needed some changes, I think. And now we have this version. Now, before we get into the rest of the review, I do have to tell you guys, Into the AM is having a crazy good Black Friday sale. You need to go to the link in the description below and check it out. If you have ever been somewhat considering getting into the AM, thanks maybe to my videos, now's the time to do it. The sale is great. The clothes are great. They are the best graphic tees. They fit wonderfully. The colors are great. Here's a couple I have sitting out just because I was doing another video for them. That's the, I can't tell where the camera is in relation to the, there we go. You can see it. Super nice colors. The best print work I've seen on a graphic tee, bar none. Even including expensive ones, and these are very reasonably priced for what you get. And they're wonderful. I love them. Everybody that I know that has purchased them loves them. You guys will probably love them too. They do have other things, and you can bundle stuff. Like, you can save all kinds of money in all kinds of different ways with the sale going on. Still with my link in the description below. Now's the time to check it out. So use that link, see what you can find. If you get stuff, let me know, and we'll talk in the comment section below. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetic. Last time it was very metallic, and this time it is very glossy. It's like they're using the same glossy red and yellow that they used for that other Iron Man figure, the retro-looking one, and it's okay. I'm not sure I want it like this though. I don't know. To me, MvC never really seemed glossy, even though it was bright yellow and bright red, and this doesn't really match the animated series. So to me, this is some kind of weird in-the-middle thing again. In fact, I'll show you the packaging, which does have different artwork on it this time than last time. You can see that's more what I want the animated series one to look like. And I'm wondering if we're ever gonna, it's not on there. I'm wondering if we're ever gonna get that, because that's what I want. Bright yellow but metallic, brighter red but metallic, not the dark red and not the glossy. It's something else. And also, I would like the face to look like that. We'll get into that in the other part when we get to the accessories. So it's just a weird in-between thing again. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about it. I'm kind of indifferent, but also, like, I want it to be the specific thing I want. Just like I said with War Machine, why can't we get the one on the package? It's a little bit weird. But this is done well enough, except for the fact that there's very little paint. Very, very little paint on here. It's not good where it is there, though. Like, the knee pads definitely don't look good. You can see the red poking through a lot. The belt area, definitely not great looking. And that's it for the paint. That's it. That's crazy to me. Anyway, they did change the chest. Now we have a very gapey chest hole right there. That's to attach the thing. That's not a big deal for me. I'm not sure if it, needed to be that big, but it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. This time we do have the blue eyes for this helmet, which is weird. Again, now I'm guessing they gave us the blue eyes because it matches the blast effects, which I'll show you in a little bit. But this is the helmet that he has on an MvC. And in MvC, he has red eyes. But for the alternate head for this, we have the red eyes, which I guess is in line with the animated series, but it's still not really in line with the animated series because a lot of the details are wrong. So again, it's some kind of weird in-between that's not quite right. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It seems too cheap. It just, no paint, and then the paint that's there is no good, and then the lack of accuracy, it seems too cheap. I do like this core figure a lot, and I'm happy to own it personally, but as a reviewer, it's too cheap. They're cheaping out way too much, Hasbro. It's not okay. So aesthetically speaking, I'm only going to give it a 7. It's fine, but it's not good, and that gets actually worse as we get into the accessories, so let's do that. We're going to save the big ones for last. First, I want to just start with the alternate head. Which is the one that comes on it in the package. The animated series style head is too big. It's really, really too long front to back, and it is too big overall, and it doesn't quite match the details, and the eye slits are definitely too high. Technically, they're too high on both, but it just looks weird. It doesn't match any of the source material appropriately, so it could be a lot better. And then we have the unmasked head, which I'll be damned if that doesn't look like Ethan Hawke with a weird mustache and long hair. Tell me that's not Ethan Hawke. That is not how I've ever pictured Tony Stark. It's a weird sculpt. Like, technically, the technical sculpting skill is fine, but the likeness is weird to me. And then the paint application with the mustache is it's just weird, and it's way too big and looks goofy on the figure, so that's a bummer. As far as hands, we have the 2 fist hands, that's cool. We have 2 repulsor blast hands that are actually painted this time, that's cool, but they do have the sockets for repulsor blasts, which we do not get. We don't get any repulsor blasts in this package, which is offensive. But they are painted, so I will take that. And then we get the gripping hands, which do have the painted repulsors, and those are for holding the big cannon, and they have the right hinges on there, so that's a good thing. So before we get into the cannon, let's talk about the blasts that Iron Man has. He gets the one for his chest, which pegs into his chest, and I guess that's okay. The white spot in the middle looks a little weird to me, but it's fine. Like, the blue plastic is alright. And then we get the one for his hand, which came incredibly warped in the package. I'm gonna have to try to fix that, but it's okay. It's fine. I don't have any huge problems with it. I think that's alright. So that's good enough. And then let's go ahead and talk about the Proton Cannon, which is definitely not a Proton Cannon officially, but definitely is. It's alright. It's mostly gray plastic. We see some really dark gray paint job on there, and then some little red bits. And that's it, other than the glaringly pink part, which is strange. I don't know why it's pink. He does have a big blast in the... I'm not sure why the blasts are different colors, if it's just different games or something like that, but I remember it being blue. They gave us a blue blast accessory for the figure, but they still painted this pink, which is weird. So that's a little bit strange. It does come with this stand, and it's fine, and he can put it in his hand, and it looks good. Like, it's accurate. I have no problem with the whole thing. This is nice, except for the fact that this is pink, which is definitely strange. And they gave us a blue blast effect. And if you guys remember, I'll show you, the Proton Cannon shoots a giant wave of protoniness, or plasma, if you want to call it a plasma cannon like Hasbro has. So that's great, that's awesome, it's a really cool thing, very iconic, and they gave it to us, and that's cool. And then they gave us a blast effect that looks like that. Which, God, it couldn't be more pathetic looking. Holy crap. What is that? They could have at least just done like a very short, like, plume, like it was just getting ready to fire or something. Just like a little umbrella, like a umbrella that's stuck on there, you know, just like a little blast like that. Fine. What the hell is that? It's so goofy looking. It's so goofy. Maybe you can peg in the regular hand blasts that we've gotten a million of into these little spots out here, but with this on here, I don't think that's going to work well. So I don't know what you're supposed to do with this. It looks... Don't use the blast effect, I guess, because that is way worse than just not having a blast effect at all. That's ridiculous looking. So it's like Hasbro'd again. They did something people have wanted for a long time in both the figure and the accessory, but half-assed it to hell and back. It is so not fully finished. 1, it's pink. 2, don't have the pink blast effect. We have the blue one. And 3, the blast effect is embarrassing. So... Accessory-wise, 7 out of 10. This is cool, but the heads suck. We're missing a set of hands. We have no palm blasts, and the blast for the gun is jacked up. So this is such a Hasbro release. It's nuts. All right, let's go ahead and run the articulation quickly. Somebody actually mentioned this the other day. They said when I reviewed this figure originally, I said the ball peg in the neck and then the hinge ball peg was okay, but then I complained about it the other day. I wasn't complaining about it the other day. I'm just saying you don't really need that extra hinge. But ball pegs are definitely better all the way around for necks and heads, and he does get to move his neck around, and then his head does move on the ball peg, and he has a hinge. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with having a hinge in there, in addition to the ball pegs, but you get better range out of the ball pegs if you don't have the hinge. But the head does work okay. Shoulders have full rotation. The hinge part, better than horizontal, that's fine. You get your bicep swivel, that's fine. Double jointed elbow. Works no problem at all, and then the wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Ab crunch on this guy does go back nicely, goes forward nicely, no problems there. Waist twist is fine. This is definitely one of their better sculpts overall. With this head for sure, though, I think it could use to be a little bit smaller. The other head, definitely too big, especially the naked head. Oh, also the legs don't close, which I guess we'll get to right now, since this is the articulation section. They haven't fixed that. His legs should be able to be brought together, especially since it's Iron Man and he flies like that. He can't bring his legs closer than that, which is a huge bummer. And I don't know if you could get it if you trimmed away some of his crotch. Maybe I'll buy a spare one and try it. I don't know if it's going to let it, though. You might have to trim away some of this also, some of his inner thigh area, his hip. I don't know. Doesn't close well, though. So bringing the leg forward, it's okay, but it does go out to the side, just a little bit going back. Splits are good, so that's a nice thing. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee is fine. We still have overly large lower legs and not long enough upper legs. Maybe I'll do a Photoshop for this guy also. Though he does look better than most Marvel Legends, but I think it would look even better if the proportions were reasonable. Shin swivel hidden nicely by the slanty boot. Ankles go all the way back and pretty far forward, and the ankle rocker is decent, and it doesn't really matter because you can just rotate the whole leg, and that's good. So that's a good ankle. Overall, it's a good batch of articulation. It's nothing crazy, nothing impressive. The hip's not going straight down is a problem, but otherwise, it's pretty solid. So I'll give the articulation an 8. And now it's time for the final verdict. Is this the ultimate Iron Man figure that everybody's been wanting? Not really. It's close. It's somewhere near there. It's somewhere in the ballpark. But the Proton Cannon being a little bit questionable with the coloration and the blast effect, not great. The suit not actually matching the game or the cartoon and being somewhere in between, I don't think, like, just sell both. Make more money, sell both. One that's accurate to each thing, that'd be good for me. But yeah, it's not quite, I think, what people are looking for. But it's going to be close enough that everyone's going to buy it and mostly like it. That's how I feel personally. So I'll give it an overall rating of 8, but it's like, yeah, there's still room for improvement, and I'm sure that they're doing it intentionally at this point. I don't know what else to say. It's like, I want it to be so good, and they just never, ever, ever deliver. They never deliver what they're supposed to fully. It's always half measures, and that's not okay, but I guess it is because they're making money and selling figures, and we're buying them, so I don't know what else to do. It's good enough. Like, you don't have to not buy it. It's obviously fine, but it's certainly not what it could have been. The blast effect just cracks me. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.